best sometimes. Okay, so this is how this works. Microphone works inside this little microphone records onto our phone over there, recording onto double mic there. Hello, just checking to make sure our mic is working.
She's giving you a thumbs up. Get 2 waters when you have a chance.
Certainly. You like ice in the water?
Thank you. So much.
It's green. It's got a green light.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, that's Sierra Nevada POL. Wow. Now we've got Modelo, we have this pale ale.
I'll take the idea. Thank you.
Yeah, because we're out of.
Thank you.
It's okay. I'll do it.
Yeah, she has. We have a little. Okay, a little one. Just like green. Yeah.
Stop
Up to you.
midstream.
Yeah.
You've got
Yeah,
a trimmer
yeah.
just like me.
It's a familial trimmer.
Right. Same
I better
here.
price it.
I had an aunt who had it her whole life.
Yeah. I bought it.
This on and ready to go whenever you are.
You're okay if I get started? Oh, wait, 2 sit down.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, and thank you for coming together. Good evening, everyone. That was wonderful, Sally. We'll go ahead and get started once everyone has a seat. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Jody Michael, and I'm with the Masonic Center for Youth and Families, and together with my colleague, Janine Heisler, we're honored to facilitate this afternoon. On behalf of Acacia Creek and the Masonic Homes family, and all who loved Ed, thank you for being here today. We gather in this space to remember, to honor, and to celebrate a life that touched so many. Whether you knew Ed as a family, a friend, a colleague, or a companion through life's journey, your presence here today is a reflection of the love and impact he shared with the world. This is a time to hold space for our grief, to share in memory, and to find comfort in community. We come together not only to mourn the loss, but to celebrate the life Ed lived with all its joy, depth, and meaning. We look upon the legacy of Ed. We look upon the legacy Ed leaves behind as we give thanks for his life and the countless number of lives and hearts that he touched. But for everyone in this room, there is loss, grief, and pain. And every one of us here has been affected, perhaps in some way or some transformative way, by Ed. His life mattered to us all. Together, let us open our hearts and commemorate the impact Ed had on us. We gather here to remember, to honor, and to reflect. As we begin, I invite you to take a deep breath. Allow yourself to be fully present and to listen. And may this afternoon be a time of reflection, of connection, and comfort. I'd like to begin with a candle lighting as we open the time of remembrance. Together, we light candles not only as a symbol of remembrance, but also as an expression and extension of love, grief, and community. I'd like to invite Ed's wife, Cynthia, to come forward and to light the candles in honor of Ed. We light this first candle for love. We light this first candle for love. Oh, sorry. You want to do it together? We light this first candle for love, to remember those who are no longer with us. May this light represent their presence and bring forward shared and treasured memories. The love shared with those we remember continues to shape who we are. May love be what we hold on to and a gift we remember to offer the world. The second candle is to represent our shared grief. We light the second candle to acknowledge the pain of our loss, and may this flame be a gentle reminder that we do not grieve alone. And our third candle is to honor the community gathered here. Together we share stories, tears, laughter, and remembrance. In times of grief, may we find light in each other, may we support one another, and find healing together. As the flame flickers, so too do our memories, emotions, and reflections. Let us carry the light Ed brought to the world, and may we honor his memory through our daily actions, random acts of kindness, and through the smiles and laughter we share with one another. I'd now like to invite Janine Heisler forward for our first reading.
Thank you. This is called Afterglow. I'd like the memory of me to be a happy one. I'd like to leave an afterglow of smiles when life is done. I'd like to leave an echo whispering softly down the ways of happy times and laughing times and bright and sunny days. I'd like the tears of those who grieve to dry before the sun, of happy memories that I leave when life is done. Jody McHale will read the eulogy now for Ed.
Ed was born September 5th, 1950, at St. Joseph's Hospital in Dixon, North Dakota, to Joseph and Veronica. He attended St. Joseph's Grade School and Trinity High School, graduating in 1968. He then enlisted in the Navy in 1968, including his service in the Vietnam War, and was honorably discharged in 1974. After his service, Ed moved to the San Francisco Bay Area and lived there for the past 50 years, most notably in Castro Valley. He worked for Xerox in San Francisco and then as a director of sales for Fujitsu in Silicon Valley for over 25 years, traveling to Japan for work. Most recently, he worked for Acacia Masonic Retirement Home, providing driving services for the residents. Ed was an animal lover and had many dogs and cats over the years. He enjoyed baseball and football and was a lifelong Yankees and Broncos fan. He particularly enjoyed spending time with his grandchildren. Ed worked at Acacia Creek for 7.5 years as a driver with the Lifestyles team. He often took on other duties as assigned, logging program participation in the computer, helping with outing preparation, checking everyone's temperatures during the pandemic, to being a standard part of big celebration parties. His humor was his superpower, using it to build rapport with residents and team members quickly. He had the biggest heart, and his main mission was to support residents where they were in life. When in the car with residents, he was able to sense what they needed, to laugh, to cry, to talk, or just be with someone in the quiet. The same can be said for team members, especially the Lifestyles team. His mission was to make life easier for those he came in contact with. Ed is survived by his wife of nearly 22 years, Cynthia, who joins us today. Their beautiful family and an extensive family of children and great-grandchildren and grandchildren. At this time, we'd like to offer the community to come up and share any stories or memory in Ed's honor.
So, Cynthia, Ed made a tremendous impact on all of us. And as a result, the resident council passed a resolution honoring Ed. I never had a ride from him, but Roger did. And Roger will read the resolution. Oh, you have it there?
Mike for me.
Okay.
But first, I'd just like to say a personal note. There's an old adage that you only get one chance to make a good impression. And with Ed, he made a good impression every time I had the pleasure of interacting with him. Whether just meeting in the hallway or being driven to another doctor's appointment, he was always kind. I think he loved his job, and he loved each one of us. On behalf of the residents of Acacia Creek, the resident council adopted this following resolution. Acacia Creek Resident Council resolves, whereas Ed Bosch served the Acacia Creek community for many years, and whereas Ed Bosch was safe and dependable driver, and whereas Ed Bosch carried out his responsibilities in a professional manner, and whereas Ed Bosch was always courteous and friendly to all the residents of Acacia Creek, and whereas Ed Bosch will be missed by all members of Acacia Creek family. So it be resolved that the Acacia Creek Resident Council thanks the Bosch family for Ed's many years of service to the Acacia Creek community and sends our sincere condolences.
If there's anyone that would like to raise their hand, I'm happy to bring the microphone to you as well.
Who's me?
Hello? You hear me? Okay. Celebration of life for Ed Bosch at Acacia Creek. In quotes, if you are lucky, maybe in a lifetime, you maybe meet a person like Ed, who is always friendly and supportive, and makes always supportive of you and makes you feel comfortable in whatever you endeavor to do. Rest in peace, Ed. You earned it and deserve it. With fond memories and thankfulness, love, Herman Attinger.
I just want to say I've enjoyed the time I've had with Ed, which amounted to quite a bit of time because he had to drive me to a lot of different places. But I shared this with, I wrote a note to Cynthia and shared this with her already. I, I will never forget last Halloween. I mean, that just captured my heart. Ed was so excited and pleased to have his family there, and especially his granddaughters, the granddaughter and the baby too. And the granddaughter was running all around, and Ed was trying to get a hold of her, and yet we all delighted in it. And it was that'll never leave my memory. I'll always remember it. And I just bless the day that Ed was born because he's blessed our lives so much. And thank you, Cynthia, for sharing him with us. And God bless.
We had so much fun all the whole 7 years talking about grandkids. He just loved his grandkids, and that was a lot of fun. But on April 19th, I needed a bank run, and who was there but Ed, of course, who went and waited for me and brought me back. That was on April 19th. That was a very stunning occasion. But this whole 7 years that I've known him, every single trip was fun and games, happy times, grandkids, great stuff. And I love the way he did the bulletin boards out in the overhang outside too. Very clever.
Hello. So I have some fun thoughts about Ed as well. Ed was a funny guy, truly one of a kind. I know, but if I cry, I can't talk. He always had something to say, whether to fit in the conversation or not, that never stopped him. If you were talking, Ed was there with his 2 cents, maybe even a full dollar's worth. He'd stroll into my office most days and start with, "Missy, you got a minute?" It didn't matter if I actually had one or not, he was already sitting down. Then came his signature line. "I'm going to throw something at you. If it hits the wall and sticks, that's great. And if not, that's okay too. You're the boss. Hippa whippa jippa." And with that, he'd dive right into whatever idea, story, or wild thought was on his mind. Ed's heart, bigger than most galaxies. He was always the first to step in and help with whatever needed doing. He was there. Of course, that didn't mean he always liked what he was doing, and he'd absolutely let you know it, loud and clear. But even when the grumbling, he'd pitch in, get to work, and then with perfect timing, he'd look at us and say, "You're the worst." Then he'd go right on helping like the whole thing was his idea. After he'd been around a year or two, we eventually roped Ed into helping with the big parties and socials. At first, he protested loudly. He didn't like it one bit. But once he realized how fun it was and how much he got to see the residents laughing and having a good time, he became the first to ask, "What are we doing for the next one?" He even started planning his contributions in advance. Not bad for someone who wasn't into parties. Oh, and I can't forget, Ed would give me so much grief from being from Nebraska. I mean, really, this is a guy claiming North Dakota. Is that any better? I mean, really? At the end of most days, you can find him over at the concierge desk, giving the team grief about how many appointments were in the binder. How many appointments were in the binder, how many cancellations he had, or whatever else he could do to stir the pot. He was always trying to claim my job as the boss, too. "I could do what you do," he'd say. But when it came to actually taking over, he'd glance at me and say with a grin, "You're the worst," and leave it at that. Watching Ed interact with residents was truly something special. He had an incredible way of building relationships with anyone. His humor was like his secret superpower, disarming people, connecting instantly, and making them feel seen and heard. Over the past few weeks, I've had a lot of time driving and listening. You have all shared so many stories about Ed, and every single story, no matter how different, had the same thread running through it. Ed had a big, kind, generous heart. He had a gift for meeting people exactly where they were. He could sense what somebody needed. Goodness gracious. He could sense what someone needed, often before they said a word. No matter what the request was, big, small, or slightly ridiculous, Ed was there, always. He left us with laughter, love, and stories we'll be telling for a long, long time. And if he were here right now, I have no doubt he'd look at us all, smirk, and say, "You're the worst." And we'd smile because we know what he really meant was, "You're the best." We're gonna miss Ed. Cheers.
Is there anyone else that would like to share? Thank you for.
Short story, you'll like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything today. It's wonderful. You all talked about his heart, and I agree, but he also had a great sense of humor. And for me to be able to drive the golf cart on campus, I had to take a test with him. And he had a little piece of paper. And every time I was getting a little close to the curb, he was like making a little note. And I get back and I said, "Did I pass?" He said, "You did great. I was just figuring out what I wanted for lunch."
Carolee, that was so beautiful. And I feel I didn't know Ed very well, but
listening to your stories and the reflections. I feel like I've gotten to know him so much more. And I just want to share a couple of things. It was, I think, week one, and how I met Ed was he came into my office and Carolee came in and they talked about the new car. And going through this, he did so much. I don't know if you all know that we have this new car because of Ed's research, diligence, and probably every other morning come in, he would say good morning, and where are we with the car? What's going on? What's next? And really was just such an advocate for this car and for what was needed for you all. And he did such research about it and what, amazing. He had everybody sit and test it, and it ended up being such an amazing experience. And we had a lot of hiccups, and we had a lot of lessons learned. But that experience just showed me how much he really cared about his role and your comfort and your safety and accessibility, and just meeting you where you were and your needs for transport, and his just dedication of being top-notch driver and a top-notch guy and a top-notch advocate. And I do miss his coming by in the morning and just saying good morning. And he is missed and will continue to be missed, and really was part of the fabric of Acacia Creek. So thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you, Carolee, for sharing that also. And I'm really sorry for your loss, and may Ed's memory be for a blessing.
Thank you for everyone who shared, and may these memories and stories continue past this afternoon and past our gathering here. Before we close, Janine will come forward with our second reading.
Let me go. When I come to the end of the road and the sun has set for me, I want no rights in a gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little, but not for long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love that once we shared. Miss me, but let me go. For this is a journey we all must take, excuse me, and each must go alone. It's all part of the master plan, a step on the road to home. When you are lonely and sick at heart, go to the friends we know. Laugh at all the things we used to. Miss me, but let me go. Thank you all for being here today, for coming together in love, in memory, and in shared sorrow. We have honored a life that touched everyone in ways both profound and personal. Though you may each carry different memories, one thing unites you, the lasting imprint left by your dear friend Ed. As we leave this space, may we carry his light forward in our words and our actions and in how we care for one another. May the love and the stories we've heard today give us comfort, and may we continue to honor their lives by how we live our own. As we leave each other today, may we do so with gratitude for the past, compassion for the present, and peace for the days ahead. Thank you so much.
You're welcome to mingle and talk and continue the sharing.